They spent a decade as prisoners, but what's next for Castro's former captive? Joining me now is psychologist Rebecca Bailey, personal therapist to kidnapping survivor J.C. Dugard, and co-author of Safe Kids, Smart Parents, What Parents Need to Do to Keep Their Children Safe. Welcome to you, Rebecca Bailey. What do you think of, particularly of what Michelle Knight said on Friday in terms of being liberated by this? How realistic is it that these three young women can be liberated in the near future?
Well, I absolutely believe that they can be liberated. It's going to be a slow process. Her strength, her willingness to sit there and speak the way she did was just amazing and fabulous. And for each one of the victims that go through situations like this, it's really an individualized decision as to whether they want to sit in the court with the person or not. But what I saw for her was just that tremendous courage you were both just talking about as well.
Some people have suggested, perhaps very unfairly, but that this was an example of the much vaunted Stockholm syndrome, that one of the reasons that these three women didn't collaborate earlier to break free is that they had a kind of weird hold to Castro that he wielded above them that they responded to. What is your take on that?
You know, I think the Stockholm syndrome has been overplayed on some levels. J.C. Dugard is the one that taught me the most about how offensive for many victims it can be to consider that they actually fall in love with their captors. It's an adaptation process. Now, certainly there are components that we all understand that are in the so-called Stockholm syndrome, but really that's so important to remember that people do what they need to do to survive. And to call it love anything like a maternal healthy or a paternal healthy relationship is erroneous. So that's my input on that.
Dr. Bailey, from all your work with J.C. Dugard and many others, what is the best advice you could give these three young women from Cleveland as they try and get back to normality in their lives?
Absolutely, to not let their past define them. There's going to be a period where the focus is on them with press and media, etc. But to be able to go forward and let their life unfold in front of them without carrying that with them. And that goes for that little girl, Jocelyn, as well. We have to allow her to be okay. And hopefully they have built a community around them of supporters that can help keep that goal in mind. They need to not let themselves be held back in the past. They've got a lot of grieving, a lot of work to go through, but at their own pace, in their own way.
Dr. Rebecca Bailey, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much for having me.